Hi, I'm Chris Harvey, and today we're going to show you how to use the compact Deluxe extractor to extract frames from a honey super. This is a modified hive body, and we use this as a super. What we've done to make it specifically for this purpose is to put a 7-frame spacer in place of the regular metal frame rests that are in the modified hive body. So instead of 8 frames, we're running 7. It keeps the sidebars from touching each other. It gives you about 1/8 of an inch of space in between each one of the sidebars and allows the bees to build their combs wider. Okay? The advantage to that is that it's easier to uncap it. Okay? So, we'll start off with uncapping our first frame of honey. Isn't that gorgeous? Over here to our 5-gallon pail. I got a piece of newspaper under here because I have a tendency of missing this pail sometimes. This is our cold knife, and this will do uncapping for most hobbyists. It's more than what you need, as opposed to buying like an electric heated knife. You know, those are $100. This is inexpensive. It does the job. All right. Take our cold knife. Simply work down slowly, removing the caps. Okay. Scrape that off on the edge of the bucket. Knife in there momentarily. Turn this over. And this way, I just like to do them all the same direction. Makes it simpler for me. Try to keep the wax from building up on the knife. Keep it scraped off on the bucket. This one, there's a few low spots I think on this side. So as we uncap this side, I'm going to need to go back with our capping scratcher and remove some of the ones that are at the low points. Okay, and you won't have this too much with the 7-frame setup because, like I say, it allows the bees to build them wider. You'll have this more if you're extracting from an 8-frame. Whether if you have a brood, your standard modified Warray setup, and you want to extract. You can't, you wouldn't run this as a brood box. You wouldn't run a 7-frame setup as a brood box. Okay, these are only for supers. So if you're extracting 8 frames, you're going to have more of these low areas. Okay, but this right here is an area where the knife wouldn't remove the caps. Simply take your uncapping or your capping scratcher and tuck it under those caps, like so, and get them removed. Those cells open up so when we extract it, all the honey comes out. This goes into the extractor this direction, and we'll show you why in just a moment. I like to just hold on to the ear of the top bar and lower that into the extractor. Turn the basket in the extractor 180 degrees. Come over and grab our next frame. Another beauty. Grab our cold knife. And once again, very careful with this cold knife. It is really sharp. I mean, that's how it does the job without heat. It's just really, really sharp. Okay. Anybody slicing themselves open with this, it's easy. It would be easy to do. Okay. Just try and smooth that out just a little bit there. Capping's off. And our last last one. This extractor will extract 2 frames from your modified hive or your super. If you have any Langstroth hives around, you can use the same extractor. I mean, that's what it's set up for originally. Is it'll do 2 Langstroth deeps or 4 Langstroth shallow. It'll only do 2 mediums. It'll do 4 shallow. There's a couple of caps here that are hard to reach. Again, capping scratcher underneath them. Pull them off. And again, this actually goes in this way. Hold on to the ear. And lower it into the basket. And if we can bring the camera up here now, we'll get a look at the inside of this extractor for you. And basically what you see, as I was saying, 2 frames. 1 frame sits in each side of the basket. Okay. Basically, you really need to be extracting 2 frames at a time, which there's a little bit of a trick here. This is a 7-frame super, so we have an odd number of frames. You can extract a frame without having another frame on the other side, but it is more difficult. The unit becomes unbalanced and you have to hold it better and keep it still. Now if you have 2 supers, you extract them both at the same time, you have 14 frames. That eliminates the problem. Okay, so basically the handle on the extractor, this is a crank type extractor, the handle will be disengaged until you line up these 2 lines and push it in. Okay, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to rotate this very slowly at first. We want to extract the honey from the outside about halfway, meaning the honey that's on the inside, in the inside cells of the frame, is not being extracted right now. It's actually pushing against the comb. Just like centrifugal force is causing the honey on the outside to come out, it's causing the honey on the inside to push out against the foundation. And that's bad. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to crank it slowly and extract about half of the honey from the outside cells. Okay, so we'll take a look at it. You can see it's starting to extract, and I'm guessing that's probably about half of it. Alright. Rotate this and then turn it over. Never lay frames flat. I almost dropped it. And back in. Never lay frames flat because it's just a lot of weight due to the honey. Okay, and it's going to be hard on the frame. Again, about half out. Simply rotate that around. This is the side that's not been extracted. Always put your frames into the basket so that the bottom bars are tight up against the edge of the basket. Okay, because the centrifugal force is going to make it slide that way, and because of the way the cells are angled, that's how you want it. That's how you get your best extracting. Okay. Again, engage the handle. And now that we've got about half of the honey out of what are now the inside cells, we don't have to worry so much about damaging our combs. And we can rotate this a little bit faster. You can see the honey hitting the side of the drum, the extractor drum. It basically just comes out of there like rain, runs down the walls of the extractor drum, and then goes through holes in the bottom of the extractor drum and goes into the bottling bucket. Okay, this is a 2-piece extractor. Inside the top of our bottling bucket is a strainer. And you can see how this breaks down if you just go to the beekeeping store and click on the Compact Deluxe Extractor. You can get a better look at how the pieces break down. Just disengage the handle, let it wind down, and we'll have a look. Now that's looking nice, huh? Beautiful. Completely extracted. You can see the wires. You can see the foundation pins. You can see the wires in the foundation. Okay, the honey is out. Turn it around. This is where we did half. Okay. Back into the extractor. And just like I say, just hold on to one of the ears. Again, extracted very nicely. And then we're just going to finish the job. Engage the handle. And we're right down to the last bit of honey now. So I'm going to crank it pretty fast. You can see the honey hitting the sides of the drum again. You can actually hear it probably. It sounds like rain. That's what Warren said. That's how he described it. It's like rain hitting the side of the drum. I'm still seeing some honey hitting the side of the drum, so I'm going to keep going basically until I see that that has stopped, or almost completely stopped anyway. I'm seeing very little now. And wind down, and let's take a look. Now this is quite light now. You can see a little bit here I didn't uncap. Probably could have used the capping scratcher to get that little bit. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let the bees have it. Because basically what we do, now that we have these extracted, simply put them back in the super, and then we put it outside quite a ways from our hive, a couple hundred feet from our hives, and let the bees come up and rob out the rest of the honey that's in here, which is basically just residue. You know, it's make it so it's not sticky anymore. They clean it very, very well, and when they're done, it'll just be clean wax. There won't be sticky honey residue all over it. And that just gives them a little bit to take back to the hive. It's quite a dearth right now, so I'm glad to be able to give them some. They have a lot of honey in their hives, but they like to work. So that's about it. You get these 7 frames extracted out, and you're ready to go for next year. The advantage of having a super that already has drawn out combs, during the honey flow, you can put that on. The bees can fill it very, very fast. Okay, if you're starting from just a 7-frame super with foundations never been used before, it takes a little longer. So, one year you might just have a new super, allow them to fill it right from scratch. After you've extracted it, the following year you can maybe do 2. Okay. Well, it depends on how much honey you want, but you definitely can produce more honey by supering and extracting and reusing the drawn combs. Okay. Now the wax does, over time, there's no brood raised in here, so the wax is very clean, as you can see, but over time it will absorb pesticide residues and such, so use your discretion how much you think is in your area, but every couple of years probably replace the combs, right, instead of just reusing them over and over again. But that's up to you. You can use them indefinitely. That's all there really is to it. The 5-gallon bucket, which is where our cappings are, they're starting to build up. We've extracted 6 out of 7. That's what we've got for the cappings. Those are going to go into the bucket strainer and just get crush and strain, basically cut up and strained it through the bucket strainer, just like we do a standard Warren hive comb setup. All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching.